The new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. It's on the new Black Wall Street. Here's your host. The new Black.
Oh my goodness, top of the morning to you beautiful people. Good morning. Here today on the new Black Wall Street Book Club where Black folk do read. You put in the book like The Wealth Choice and we absolutely will find it. That's right, 30 minutes a day to keep broke and stupid away. I'm your host, ERGJ, Certified Financial Educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, the Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. The book that I wrote, guys, The Study of Black Wealth, is a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if. But if you do, my recommendation is that you study wealthy people. You can find that book by simply going to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com. That's right, theblackbillionairesclub.com. No, it's not on Amazon. I done sold every last copy myself. Got over 5,000 that we done sold, and we're going to keep rocking that thing. I'm working on book number 2, by the way. But while you're there, not only is it a book, but it's also a movement, guys. It's an experience is what we call it as well. And so if you want to connect with brothers and sisters who have billionaire mindsets, who are working on building business and building wealth, and you ain't got no crew like that, they say if you're the smartest person in the room, it's time for you to find a new room. Well, the Black Billionaires Club might just be that room for you. You can check us out there at the website as well. It's a tab called Join the Club, and you can become one of the select few who have taken a leap to walk away from the crowd of broke, busted, and disgusted, and get with folks that's on the upper room. That's right, that's going to the upper room, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Just like a Jefferson, we moving on up, moving on up. That's right, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Let's see who has joined us here this morning, because it's time to get crack-a-lacking here. Go ahead and hit that like button and share button if you care. Like button and share button if you care here today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club, as we're going to be continue our journey into the book called The Wealth Choice. This is a book written by a brother, Dr. Dennis Kimbro. You can find this book by going to his website at www.denniskimbro.com, www.denniskimbro.com. In the comments below, I'd love for you to share where you're connecting from, what city, what state, what country, quite possibly, as we're broadcasting across the World Wide Web and the Facebook and also YouTube. And so we understand worldwide means global, and you can be connecting with us from anywhere. We're broadcasting from a virtual studio here in Decatur, Georgia. That's right, Decatur, where it's greater, and love to know just how far our reach is this morning, finding more brothers and sisters who understand that readers are leaders. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to level up in our thinking, level up our wealth consciousness today. We're going to use literature to build our mindset and understanding that wealth begins in the mind and it ends in the purse. Wealth begins in the mind and it ends in the purse. Man, oh man, that's what I'm talking about, man. Shiro has joined us this morning from Florida. Grand rising to you, Queen. Thanks so much for joining us. Queen Almanor is here today. Happy Friday to you, Queen. Thanks so much for joining. One of my mentors is in the house up in here. Y'all know I'm excited now. When your mentor show up, that's how you know you might be doing something right. My main man, Brother Johnson, man, is in the house, man. Queen Goodridge out of, I believe, Goodridge, you're in Connecticut, I believe. Not quite sure where you are. Brother Lowry, then one of my star students down there in Charleston out there doing his thing in real estate is in the house. Thanks so much for joining. Man, this brother here, Brother Brown is joining us. This must be a special. We must about to read something special. Because this brother be over here doing his morning affirmations with everybody, getting everybody to calm down and be in the present and moment. I'm still working on that, by the way, Mr. Brown, out of Greenville, South Carolina. Thanks so much for joining us. Ross and Miss Antoinette Ross is the boss, is up in here. Thanks so much for joining us today. New Black Wall Street Book Club is representing, man. Oh, another one of my mentors. Oh, my goodness. 2 mentors? Oh, Lord. Brother Wilson, Mr. Wilson, out of Kentucky has joined us today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Man, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get right into this thing, because today we're talking about building an empire. We're talking about building an empire. First, before I get started, though, rest in heaven to Cicely Tyson. And, you know, I'm just looking at that woman, just got me feeling like I got so much more to do right away. And also, happy birthday to my mom, by the way. My mother's birthday is today, so I might not be as active on social media today because, I got to spend time with Mama Dukes, make sure she's feeling all special, get the flowers, and I got a nice little gift already ready to go. So, make sure you take care of those who have taken care of you. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Make sure you put yourself in position. Let me go there for a second. That you put yourself in position to take care of those who have taken care of you. So for many of us, you might be in my space around this age, around this time frame, where you are the bridge, you are the gap. You are moving into the space where you got to take care of everybody. And one of the things that kind of has to happen for you to take care of everybody, you got to get your finances together, right? That you got to get the finances together to take care of those who are taking care of you, and for you to take care of those that can't take care of themselves. We are in a very interesting space for those that's kind of in my generation, okay? I'm just trying to let you know. Fantastic. That's what's going on. Hey, the New Black Wall Street Book Club, going through the book again, The Wealth Choice, Success Secrets of Black Millionaires, written by Dr. Dennis Kimbro. And we're going to pick up where we left off at yesterday as we talk about building an empire. And he is covering, it looks like he's covering a brother named Earl Grey, built the Black Enterprise Empire, okay? Who built the Black Enterprise Empire. New Black Wall Street Book Club. Let's read. Building an empire. Building an empire. How many guys are building an empire? You get up every day, you go to work on that empire. You realize it's going to take some time, but every day you just, you're laying a brick by brick by brick by brick. You're building an empire. So Graves, and we're talking about Earl Graves from yesterday. Graves, who saw his market as blacks of advanced means, began the tedious task of sifting through mountains of African-American organizational directories. The result was a list of 100,000 businessmen and women, doctors, lawyers, teachers, clergy, elected officials, and college students, present and future leaders of Black America. He sent free subscriptions to these individuals. With a draft of the magazine in hand, Graves approached area banks, whose initial response was lukewarm at best. Many rejected the idea outright. But after discussing the concept with Chase Manhattan Bank's Capital Corporation, Graves hit pay dirt. Chase Manhattan's president believed in gutsy banking and unique ventures that showed promise. Besides, Manhattan Capital had made a number of loans to Black businesses and liked the idea of a tool that helped its clients succeed. The bank financed Black Enterprise with $150,000 loan and a $25,000 in equity. Graves later bought the investment shares back for $500,000. I want to stop here for just a second. Let's go back and really review what Graves did in order to get to the money, so that then he can then have the capital to continue to build his empire. So notice what he did. He was sending out free stuff. He was trying to gain recognition. He was turning over stones and uncovering rocks, trying to find people who would invest in his dream. Everybody put in council, invest in my dream. He was trying to find people who had the money that could invest in his dream. Now notice, right? He had to put some stuff out. He had to have something to give them, something to show them, something to say that he's put in a little bit of work. It wasn't a finished product, but they were investing in his dream. And I'm saying to myself, in order for you to walk up into these banks, a Chase Manhattan, by the way, notice that ain't a black bank, by the way. And then they'll say, you know what? We see something in this. He had his together. And he walked out of there with a $150,000 loan, $25,000 in equity, so he can continue to expand his brand. Now, some of y'all are gonna catch some of this morning. What it takes to build your business, to build your empire. Now, some of you guys are trying to get people to invest in your dream just by talking, not showing. Oh, let me stop right there. You got a whole bunch to say, but have nothing to show. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys have watched Shark Tank, right? And what it'd be like somebody go in there and they just talk. Oh, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. But you have nothing to show. No blueprint. No sketch. Nothing to show. Whole lot to say, but nothing to show. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me keep going. It must be Friday. By the late 1960s, roughly 100,000 Black-owned businesses existed in the United States, and most were mom-and-pop operations. But I knew that the number would grow. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 cleared the way for policies designed to level the playing field for minority-owned businesses. In 1969, President Nixon signed Executive Order 11458, which directed the Secretary of Commerce to coordinate with the federal government's efforts to promote minority enterprise. In effect, creating the Minority Business Development Agency. That's the environment in which Black Enterprise Magazine was created. That's with the support of my wife, I took out a $175,000 SBA backed loan. We were determined to place the words black and capitalism in the same space. Graves was in his element. The next step was to convince advertisers. However, he would alter his approach. Instead of making cold calls to ad agencies, as he had with banks, Graves personally initiated a letter writing campaign to the heads of those corporations he believed would make profitable advertisers. Now, IBM, Ford Motor Company, and Coca-Cola, to name a few. Time and again, I had to educate white advertisers about the Black consumer. How many guys are educating your potential clients, educating your potential investors, educating? He had to educate in order to get to the money. I'm sorry, let me keep going because maybe I'm the only one catching some of this morning. I had to educate white advertisers about the Black consumer. I ran around trying to convince executives that Black people smoke, Black people drive cars, Black people stay in hotels and use credit cards. That was anything but easy. As a result of his efforts. Let me stop right there. As a result of his efforts. Now, the word efforts means that Earl Graves, in the early days before he became what we know today to be Black Enterprise, he had to try. He had to try. And some of us just simply aren't willing to try, but yet, as I said yesterday, we want the fruits of the labor, but we are not willing to go through the labor. He tried. And he tried again. And he tried again. As a result of his efforts, Graves received $500,000 in commitments long before the first issue would ever hit the mailbox. Now, what does that say? I mean, this is a whole teaching. I mean, my goodness, I feel like I've been talking about this stuff for a long time. Commitments. He had pledges. He had money waiting on him to complete something. And so when I talk to some of my brothers and sisters, I say, hey, you know, this book that I've been talking about, the Black Billionaires Club, how I actually sold 500 copies of that book. I had commitments to buy the book before I wrote the book. It's a whole different mindset that you can take as it relates to money or acquisition of capital, whatever the case may be. You simply got to get creative. And I tell you, if you're still hanging around the same people that you've been hanging around that's not creative, or the same time people that's always trying to get over on somebody else, that's not going to help you get to the bag. I'm sorry to tell you. That is not going to help you get to the bag. $500,000 in commitments. Oh, my goodness. This was back in 1970. As long as effort, Graves received $500,000 in commitments long before the first issue was ever hit the mailbox. Black Enterprise Magazine was profitable from day one. The cover and lead story of the first issue, August of 1970, featured Charles Evers, who started small and made it big in politics and business. Lacking capital, managerial and technical knowledge, and crippled by prejudice, the minority businessmen have been effectively kept out of the marketplace. We want to help change this, Graves declared in the first issue. It was nearly 2 years before he was taken seriously. 2 years before Black enterprise in its early days, with Earl Graves leading the charge, was actually taken serious. How many guys are willing to keep working on what you're working if nobody sees it at all? And it may take 2 years, 3 years. In my case, 6 years before you begin to get taken seriously. I said the other day, it took me 6 years to build my empire. Some of you guys are willing to quit in 6 days. Saying that, showing basically that you don't really want it bad enough. It's not that important to you. It's more of a hobby than it is an obsession or a desire. But by 1972, advertisers and distributors began calling us. And 3 years later, my input was being sought in the highest of circles. Black Enterprise's first year revenues were $900,000. The magazine had transformed since its initial issue. Today, the graphics regularly win design awards. Circulation was converted to paid subscribers, and the editorial covers have been broadened beyond the realms of business to include other key issues. They evolved. Revenues have reached $50 million. From Graves' perspective, the market isn't so much a principle as it is a collection of people. A collection of people. The market is a collection of people, all of whose wants and needs must be taken into account. His world is a sphere of customers, both actual and potential, who ultimately will determine how well he satisfies those needs. As he redefines his market, he searches for virgin turf to conquer. For example, in 1988, en route to a speaking engagement, Graves exchanged business card with a fellow passenger. The gentleman, as Graves discovered, was a senior level executive with Pepsi-Cola Corporation. During the course of their conversation, the soft drink executive revealed his company's desire to broaden its base by completing a deal with an equally stellar Black businessman or woman in the Washington, D.C. operations. Graves couldn't believe his ears. He hid his emotions as once again the door to opportunity swung open. By his own admission, Graves knew nothing about the bottling business, but he also knew that with a good organization behind him, he could glide into the industry. For the next 2 years, he would step up communication between his headquarters and the soft drink distributor and place together the intricate pieces of a financial puzzle that would establish him as Pepsi's largest minority vendor. How many guys knew that about Earl Grey? I didn't. So not only is he now building his Black Enterprise magazine, he done stepped into being a vendor for Pepsi-Cola. Multiple streams of income, by the way. Wow. Some of the pieces began to fall in place the same year. Graves and basketball great Irvin Magic Johnson met in New York, and the two hit it off immediately. During their conversation, sports soon gave way to business, and they shook hands on a deal. Johnson would lend his name and persona to the Pepsi franchise. Graves would retain 2/3 ownership. Both walked away elated as the meeting produced the results each wanted. Meanwhile, Graves continued to iron out the details until the $60 million deal was finalized in September of 1980. Everybody put in comments, so if he can do it, I can do it. See, what I really caution people is even as we are, some we decided to tune in and read this and learn from this, and some haven't, but even those that have, sometimes we get the mindset of, oh man, great for him, which is great, applaud him, fantastic, and we understand that somebody did it. But I want us to get to a space where we understand that I can do it too. I can do it better. I got more opportunity. I got more access. I got the internet. I got I got a smartphone. He was back in 1980 doing it. What if he was doing it in 2021? So not only can I do it, I can do it better. But that takes some real resolve. That takes some that takes crazy faith. That's what that takes. That takes what I consider to be crazy faith You got to have crazy faith to believe at that type of level. Black Enterprise magazine continued to thrive. In 2001, the company headquartered on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan enjoyed 5.7 million in sales, with 4 million readers. The company also includes a book publishing arm, sponsored seminars for entrepreneurs, and a private equity investment fund. The Washington Post called its founder one of the most influential Black business people in the country, and said Graves has used Black Enterprise to tell the community how to work together, how to dress smart, pull strings, borrow money, and live revengefully well. 2 of Graves' 3 sons serve as executives with his company, Keep It in the Family, while the third holds a post with PepsiCo. In addition to the Spingarn Medal, additionally awarded to the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People for outstanding achievement, Graves has also received numerous other awards, including the Entrepreneur Excellence Award from Dow Jones and Co. in 1992, and Ernst & Young New York City Entrepreneur of the Year Award 3 years later. In all, he holds 53 honorary degrees, but as he wrote in the 13th anniversary issue of his magazine in 2000, I've always said that these awards recognize the magazine's role in uplifting African Americans. By showcasing their achievements as well as gaining a forum to address the issues of the day, we help fuel the aspirations of generations of Black entrepreneurs and business people. In the same issue, he wrote, we wanted to show our readers a better way and at the same time communicate to the business world from Madison Avenue to Wall Street that there was a viable Black consumer market. It was my vision to show a more positive side of African American participation in the business mainstream. Along the way, we would carve a path for future generations. It took Graves nearly 30 years to realize that he could apply salesmanship to social change. We made a difference in terms of Black America owning a piece of the economic action. Though he occasionally sells advertising to account executives, that chore is now handled by his oldest son. He, Graves Sr., sells to even tougher front lines, chief executives, congressional leaders, the cabinet members. I still have to hustle. Everybody put it down, so I still got to hustle. I still have to hustle. We got entire generations of kids who are going nowhere, who's going to pay the freight later. It has nothing to do with minorities. It has to do with the bottom line. With all his success, selling is what drives the man. Part of his secret is believing in his product. Black Enterprise has become America's survival manual for the Black community. We have to live up to, in large measure, the readers' and advertisers' expectations. In the end, nothing serves a salesman better than filling the needs of his customers. A product is invented only once, but selling is forever. A product is invented only once, but selling is forever. You're hearing from a Black millionaire. In his book, Wealth and Power in America, Gabriel Kolka, an economic historian, presented considerable evidence that the reins of power are always held by the controllers of wealth. Let me repeat that again. That the reins of power are always held by the controllers of wealth. If this is true, not only does Black America hold the reins to its destiny, but it is not poor. Psychologists suggest that our models of thought tend to become our life experience. Those men and women who believe they can succeed tend to succeed. Those men and women, those who entertain thoughts of failure and doubt, tend to fail. Plain and simple, your level of wealth and prosperity will never rise higher than your patterns of thought. Let's read that again for the POC in the back. Your level of wealth and prosperity will never rise higher than your patterns of thought. As we said earlier, wealth begins in the mind and it ends in the purse. Your income, your level of wealth is proportionately tied to how you think and what you think, how you perceive the world, and how you respond to what you perceive in the world. I would like to call this wealth maturity. You can grow up in your thinking, and that can correlate to a growing up in your bank account. The greatest fortunes have been built by dreamers and innovators of unwavering faith, as I just said earlier, crazy faith, who believed in their power to accomplish whatever task they turned to. There's no law by which you can attain great wealth without demanding it, expecting it, believing it, assuming it, and thinking it when all you hope for is not yet visible. Prosperity flows only through channels that are open to receiving. Prosperity flows to channels that are open to receive it. My question to you today, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, are you open? Now, very interesting. We had a session last night. I was talking to a sister, and she was saying that maybe a year ago or something like that, she had joined our group and joined our club. She left, right, and now she's back, and she said, now I'm open. Now I'm open. She didn't think I caught it when she said it. I said, oh, something has changed. Now you're open. We were talking about the same stuff a year ago, but she wasn't open a year ago. That's why I say people wake up in their own time. They open up at their own time. What I know I need to do is just keep on sowing, keep on sharing the financial preacher or whatever y'all want to call it. And what I need to do is just keep on teaching. And when the student is ready, that's when I'll appear. Are you open? Now, that's very difficult as well because some of us may think we're open. We may say that we're open, but other people can tell. It shows up in the way that you talk. It shows up in how you respond. It shows up in how you walk. Some of you guys are double-minded. You think that you're open, but everything that comes out of your mouth dismisses all of the channels. Because from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So although in your mind you're saying, I'm open, your heart still hasn't been open. Your soul still hasn't been open to receive the goodness of the Lord. I can keep going, by the way. I done read the books. I done opened myself up to the great teachers of the world. Not only is your mind, what about your soul, your spirit? Mind, body, and soul. Are you open? And this world that we live in has a crazy way of closing people up, shutting people down and closing their heart, becoming hardened to what they experience in their life, the challenges, the tribulations, the trauma, and all that stuff. Are you open? Are you even open to be open? Prosperity flows only through channels that are open to receive it. Quiet as it is kept, there's no need to hire a locksmith. There's no great mystery that unravels riches or abundance. Truth be told, focused thinking has been characteristic of those that have left their mark on the world. There's no change in the principle of a law of wealth. Whatever your business, whatever your profession, whatever your occupation, your mental attitude will determine the level of your financial success. A pinched mind equates to a pinched supply. The reason that so many fail to reach their financial goals, that the ranks of the have-nots continue to swell in the land of such promise, is that far too many refuse to alter their thinking and commit themselves to the million-dollar habits that lead to financial success. Let me tell you something. How many of you guys have been in a situation where you saw a problem? Maybe it was your sister or your brother, your friend, your Facebook friend, something like that. And you're like, man, I see how you could be doing this better so that you can get better results. And then you lend to offer some assistance or some advice or, a different way of thinking. And immediately they responded as if you were attacking them when you were trying to help them. And you realize, okay, you're just not open to receive this. I'm really coming from I don't care less really how well you do, but I see that if you make this small little shift, you could really be making bank. And they immediately just respond as if, who are you to tell me what I should be doing with my stuff? And you realize they just not open. they just not open. I come from a good place. I come from a good heart. I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. I really want to see them succeed. I see how this small little shift could take them to a whole nother level, but they simply are not open. And you realize there have been times in your life where you've been the exact same way. Let me get back to the book before I get in trouble up in here. The reason that so many fail to reach their financial goals and the ranks of have-nots continue to swell in the land of such promise is that far too many refuse to alter their thinking and commit themselves to the million-dollar habits that lead to financial success. Commit. These poor souls lack the self-confidence that never looks back, that burns all the bridges behind them. The ever-present tinge of doubt and uncertainty as to whether they will succeed taints their efforts. And this little difference is what spells the difference between poverty and affluence. If you doubt your ability to do what you set out to do, if you think that others are far better suited, if you fear to step out on faith and assume the calculated risk, if you lack backbone and boldness and determination, if timidity and a shrinking nature shadow your every move, if you have yet to remove can't from your vocabulary, if you lack a daring spirit, if you are constantly held back by caution, if you have yet to get over your love affair with lack and limit, if you have yet to embrace your divinity, that influence, that infinite source that knows no failure, and if you're driven by the words, I wish to, I hope to, and I'll try again. Here lies the critical difference that measures the distance between power and weakness, between wealth and poverty, and between the haves and the have-nots. Most people refuse to follow the guidelines that eventually could free them from financial insecurity. Let me repeat that again. Most people refuse to follow the guidelines. There is a roadmap to this thing. That could free them, eventually free them from financial insecurity. And here's the beautiful thing, is that you could put yourself in position through your own efforts, not from a handout, just from a hand up to free yourself. And here's the deal, just like in Vogue said, free your mind and the rest will follow. All it takes is a little discipline and forethought, and your career goals and spending habits to your savings and investment strategies, and most importantly, your attitude. If you make the commitment, wealth will wrap its arms around you throughout your life. And I'll repeat this last part again, because this is the big if. As I said earlier, right? I believe if you study wealthy people, you want to be rich, you want to be wealthy, you study wealthy people. But I got is a if. There's a conditional statement. There's a clause, because that if, that two-letter word, there's two powerful two-letter words that I keep coming across. The first one is the word no. I mean, that's a powerful two-letter word. If you learn to say no, all right, to the things that don't help you get to where you get to, and you learn to say yes to the things that can help you get to where you want to get to, that's like half the battle. The other part, the other big two-letter word that I found to be so powerful in our English vocabulary is the word if, signifying that you have a choice. That choice cannot be taken away from you. It's your choice. If you doubt your ability to do what you set out to do, if you think that others are far better suited than you with your fine self, with your intelligent self, with all that's come in your package, you think that better people can do it better than you? How dare you? If you fear to step out in faith and assume the calculated risk, if you lack a backbone. Now I know all my sisters don't lack no backbone. If you lack a backbone, or you lack boldness, or you lack determination, if timidity and shrinking nature shadow your every move. If every step you take, you're worried about something else that ain't got nothing to do with where you're going. If you have yet to remove can't from your vocabulary. If you lack a daring spirit. If you are constantly held back by caution. That's a big one. If you have yet to get over your love affair with lack and limit. If you have yet to embrace your divinity, that infinite source that knows no failure. And if you're driven by the words, I wish to, I hope to, I'll try. Again, here lies the critical difference that measures the distance between power and weakness, between wealth and poverty, and between the have and the have-nots. Most people refuse to follow the guidelines that eventually could free them from financial insecurity. All it takes is a little discipline and forethought, from your career goals and spending habits to your investing and investment strategies, and most importantly, your attitude. If you make the commitment, wealth will wrap its arms around you throughout your life. This is the New Black Wall Street Book Club, where Black folk do read. Reading Rainbow 2.0. You put in a book like The Wealth Choice, written by brother Dennis Kimbro, that you can find at www.denniskimbro.com. We absolutely will find it. Now, I'll say this to you guys. I'm now on a new kind of mission, and I want you guys to understand this concept that we call money. Money is the exchange of value for value. And so if you got some value out of today, you said, man, this was worth my time, this is very valuable to me, then I'm going to ask for an exchange. And here's that exchange. Here's my mission. Here's my goal. One of my goals. At this point, we need to get other people to pay for the content that we are putting out for our community, the same way that Earl Graves did. And so in order for to do that, we have to qualify for that money. And in order for us to qualify, we don't need more followers. We need more of our followers to watch more of our videos. And so what I'm asking you to do is to help us qualify so we can get them to pay what we do for you. Let me say that again for the people in the back. What I'm asking you to do is to help us qualify to get them to pay for what we do for you. And how do we do that? Well, we do that by you simply going on ERGJ Enterprises. Number one, hitting the like button if you're not on ERGJ Enterprises on Facebook. We're concentrating on Facebook. If you're not there, ERGJ Enterprises, like and follow that page. Step number two, go to the videos tab and then just watch a video. Watch it for at least 10 minutes, okay? Even if you don't watch it, put it on and then come back, okay? That's all I'm asking you to do. And then number three, I'm asking you to share, right? Share either the video or a video that speaks to you that you watch so other people can be exposed to the value that we're bringing to you, okay? That's what we're doing, right? Yeah, that's right. We're going to honor, what's his name? What's his name from Reading Rainbow, the first guy? Levert. I forgot his name. It's not about the top of my head, okay? Like, love, share. But the main thing is the video part. It's about people watching the videos for a certain amount of time. We got enough followers. We just got to get more of the people that's already following to actually watch our videos. And I've been doing videos for a long time, okay? I have plenty of content, right, that's making a difference for a lot of people, helping a lot of people free themselves financially and all that good stuff. And so I am my brother's keeper, and I won't keep doing it. But let's get the man to pay for it, okay? I'm not going to ask you to pay for it. Let's get the man to pay for it. That's what we're going to do, okay? That's what we're going to do. Yeah, LeVar Burton, absolutely. So we're paying homage to Cicely Tyson. We're paying homage to LeVar Burton. We're paying homage to Earl Grey Sr. from Black Enterprise. That's what we do here on the New Black Wall Street. Well, beautiful people, I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The New Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We will see you all there at the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.